Hello?
Hi, hello, is this Malcolm?
Yes, it is. What's up?
Hey, Malcolm, this is Tommy Bryson. How can I help?
All right, hold on. Can you one sec, one sec.
Yeah. By the
Okay.
way, this call is gonna be recorded and potentially uploaded. Cool?
Yes, cool. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
So, how you doing? You good?
Do- Doing good, bro. How can I help?
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, we've talked before, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just calling back. But all right, so I just want to get an idea of what I should be doing. What's the best thing for me? Because okay, so what I want to do right now, like, I'm definitely stacking, trying to save money. I'm 19 years old, live with my parents. I live with my dad right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't really have a reason to like leave, but they aren't really. I mean, the situation at home, it can be kind of the word's overused, but I have to say toxic, honestly. But
Do you feel
the
safe?
thing is, yeah, I mean, I'm safe. It's not like
Do
what do
people
you mean,
bother
like what
you a
type of
lot?
safe?
Like, do people, like, for example, are they trying to attack you? Or they hitting you or something like that?
Oh no, 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 it's
Then you're
nothing
good,
like that.
bro.
No.
So look,
Okay,
right?
cool, yeah.
There's a level, right? What you're describing is basically you're already a teenager, you're already 18 years old, and you want to kind of like do your own thing. So even whatever your parents do, even if they're the nicest people ever, at some level they're going to annoy you because what you're becoming is basically an adult and you want to do like your own thing. So the reason why I usually recommend initially you're kind of like staying with your parents is to save up money, bulk up on a skill basically to actually do something to actually make you money. But it's not like
Right.
that's going to be very appeasing. Unless, for example, the household is extremely toxic. As far when I say it's toxic, by the way, I'm saying like your parents are doing drugs, they're either hitting you or beating you, or they're
Oh
basically trying to
no.
undermine you, right? Telling you you suck, you're not good. That's toxic.
Oh yeah.
If you're saying like on a
Okay, yeah.
toxic
Well,
level of
nothing like that.
yeah, so if you're saying, for example, well, my mom is not that positive to my ideas, that's not toxic at all, right? There's a difference here.
Got you.
Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. All right,
So,
cool. Cool, cool, cool.
so do you want to replace toxic with annoying?
Yeah, I'll say annoying and yeah, that's probably more of the word.
Yeah,
Annoying.
exactly, bro.
Um yeah, it's just that and then they're not really that you're right, you're like the positive they're really not that positive towards things. I try to get
Yeah.
them to
And they don't have
be
to
more
be.
positive.
And you're 19 years old. You're not gonna come out of nowhere and just change your whole perspective, especially when you're this young and you haven't really done anything for
Yeah.
yourself, right? So there's one
Right.
thing that I've learned in life is basically that you can't change somebody else. Whether you have
Mm.
there's a story in the Bible. It's Noah, I think, and he's building an ark. Pretty sure you heard this before, and he's telling everybody, get on the ark, get on the ark. There's gonna be a storm or whatever, and the whole world's gonna end. And everybody's like, oh no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And then when it came and it happened, everyone obviously didn't make it, except the people that got on the ark with him. But it's the same thing with you. You know, now that you're changing, you kind of want to help people get on also. Like, hey, I'm learning about finance. Maybe do this instead of this, right? But what you'll come
Mhm.
off as basically as pretentious and also annoying because to those people, they don't really want to change. It's more like the perfect way to kind of like help someone indirectly. It's more like help yourself first and then you leave that door open for them. So if I'm talking to you, Malcolm, I'm like, yo, Malcolm, I figured out this way to actually invest your money this way, that way. And you're like, nah, I'm good. That's it. I don't mention it again. And then when my results show for itself, and then you're like, what are you doing? You know, that means that now you're open to actually learning. But you can't, I don't know, or just like try to change your parents or anything like that. It's just like you might try to initiate the conversation. If they're open, they're open. If they're not open, they're not open. And when the time comes, for example, at age 17, if I told my mom about investing or anything crazy, she would be like, I'm good. But now she hears me talking about it. She's like, oh, tell me more about that. You know what I mean? It's just different.
Mhm. I
Make
got you.
sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, you cleared that up a lot because yeah, it's not. One thing, Tommy, that I really gotta work on, and I need maybe a little bit of advice on, is how to not let other people affect like how I'm feeling. Because it's like I really don't like to react certain ways, but it's like kind of habit. Like I'll get annoyed really
Be
fast
specific.
instead
Be
of just.
specific.
Uh,
Be specific.
um. So basically, they
If it sounds like what you're gonna say sounds like complaining and sounds like kind of childish, it probably means it doesn't matter that much. Does that make sense? That's what that means. You're 19 years old, things annoy you, that's fine. You gotta get busy, bro, and you gotta have your own goals in mind, and you gotta kind of push towards those things. When your mom tells you wash the dishes or don't do this and that annoys you, it makes you go crazy, it just means your character and the level of problems you're able to solve are very low. But when you're able to kind of like uplift yourself and understand that you're the only thing that stands in your own way, that stuff kind of becomes like background noise. You know what I mean? If my mom or my dad's not here anymore, but anybody like my family, whatever, trying to curse at me or anything crazy or go, I'm just not really gonna like react to that. But that happens because basically I understand a level of importance. You know, I set boundaries in place. So let's shift from complaining and let's go into what do you want to do, bro?
What I want to do, like with my life?
Not your whole life. You're 19 years old, but as far as like career and whatever.
Okay, well, several things, but I do run like 2 YouTube channels. I believe I do the ASMR and the dreadlock channel.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you now. Yeah. Is this your third time calling?
Yes, third time.
Yeah. So you just gotta do more, bro, and stop calling until you have, for example, like results. What this means is basically, right, you're doing the dreadlock thing, you're doing the SMR thing. That's YouTube, that's side hustles. That don't take up all your time. So what's your job again? I forgot, like your main job?
So I work at Amazon, and I also do like some driver apps. And
okay, you work at Amazon. How much do you make again per month?
Like 15 an hour.
Per month.
15, okay, a month. Per month, probably like, let me see, like 12 with that job. But you know, yeah, like 12
just
with
stop.
that job.
Just stop there. Stop there. Stop there. Stop there.
Like
That's all I need to know. You need to stop trying to get all these side hustles and do too much, man. You're spreading yourself too thin. What this means is basically there are 24 hours in a day. If you use 8 to sleep, 8 for Amazon, and maybe 2 for your YouTube channel, you still have extra time to go get a new skill. By that I mean, for example, either a trade, either college, but a real career, basically. Does that make sense? So for example, if I'm you, I'm not trying to go from Amazon to do like DoorDash or Uber Eats because that money is great, but do you need it living with your parents? The answer is no, right? $1,200 is going to be more than enough for you. That's just income for you to actually have. But then use the rest of your time to actually get a career that's going to make you money. So when I was your age, exactly 19, that's crazy, I was in college full time and I had 2 jobs and I did daily vlogging. And I also did like phone flipping every now and then. But those were my main focus. And I don't recommend that, by the way. I was doing a lot because I was trying to figure out what I liked or whatever. But for you, if you know you want to do YouTube, what you want to get into, whether it's SMR or, for example, like the dreadlock thing, pick one and then go heavy on that one. Dedicate time to it. Everything's good, okay? But then, for example, your career, decide what you want to do. Make sense?
Cool.
So the way to actually, you know, I don't want to have you leave and be like, Tommy told me it's not what I want to do. Okay, great. What do I want to do now? You want to do an exercise, right? The exercise is basically, I call it the rule of 10. Just made it up. But the rule of 10 basically means you want to write down the top 10 careers that you want to have, and don't hold back. The dream ones out there. So for you, it might be like an accountant, finance, or whatever you want to do, right? But real careers that are actually tangible, you can actually do. But you actually make sure that all the ones you list down, all the top 10, you like them, you're good at them at some level, whether you think so or you don't, and then, for example, makes you money also. Now, once you're done writing these top 10 careers, you want to go basically over to Google, and you want to do a full research on them. You can use, for example, laborstatistics.gov, do research on it, and then find out all the details. For example, what's the growth in this industry? How much does it pay? How long is it going to take me? And don't limit yourself just to, for example, college, but also look into trade jobs. There are a lot of trade jobs out there, like linemen, that get paid like $200,000 almost per year. There's a lot of different jobs out there. And then once you do all this research, you should have around like 2 to 3 pages worth of information. And also look up, for example, a day-to-day for those jobs. And then once you have all that research, all that information, you start to cross off until you get to the top 3. The top 3 Decide which one you want to do, not based on money, but more based on what you actually like. Because that's going to be the most important thing. Because those top three in some way is going to make you money, obviously, but it's important that you actually like what you do. And then you just dedicate yourself to actually getting that. And while you're getting that, you can still do the YouTube thing. If the YouTube thing turns out to be like this massive thing and you want to quit, that's fine. But you need to be working on a skill right now.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Right. Yeah. I'm at college, but I think I'm probably about to change the program that I'm in.
What are you doing in college?
I'm doing finance right now, but I was going to change to probably a trade program so I can.
What made you pick finance?
Honestly, I like solving like problems and like coming up with
finance
solutions.
Is not about you. It's not about you. Finance is about helping somebody else and solving and basically trying to solve like their entire like perspective thing. You gotta stop with the sub-level thinking. Meaning, for example, you gotta go deep. So if you're gonna pick the major finance and you spent money on it already or whatever it is, go deep. Find out what jobs you can get with the degree, how much they pay, what they entail, what the day-to-day actually is, how long it'll take you, what's the growth in that industry. Go deep. This stuff is serious, man. This is things that are gonna basically define your life in a way. Because if you do this whole thing for 4 years, that's 4 years gone. Now you're 23 years old, and then you're like, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna use this degree anymore. Pick whatever you're gonna pick. Make sure it makes sense, and don't self-sabotage. Every time you pick something and you get close to it, you want to restart or whatever. That's called self-sabotage. So you want to do finance? I'm gonna do the trade job. I want to do this one. You know, pick something. The lack of confidence in your choices come from a lack of understanding. So the way you get that understanding is by doing a full-blown research. Does that make sense?
Right.
That's all you need to do.
I got you.
Okay?
Okay, cool. Gotcha. Thanks.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you recommend so like I said, I do have like, so how many channels is it appropriate to be running like 2 channels? Like I don't really feel burnt out or anything like that, but I just want to hear like what you think about running like more than one YouTube channel at once. Like when you did that. I
did one channel on YouTube, and then when that channel made money, then I started to expand. When you're first starting out and you're trying to do too much, in order to be very good at something. For example, right? Bill Gates is known for computers. Steve Jobs is known for Apple. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is known for Amazon, the marketplace thing, right? Changing the whole world with that stuff. Warren Buffett is known for investing. Dave Ramsey is known for helping people, but also real estate. People that are successful in life, usually you don't hear about how they have 20 different things going on. They're focused and they're intentional, whatever they choose to do. And then if they want to kind of like diversify later on in life, then that's fine. Does that make sense? So, for example, once that YouTube channel made me a lot of money, then I said, well, I want to start off the shows channel because maybe this one is not that sustainable. I already have an audience. Let me start off the acts one because people have questions. I want to answer them directly. And then let me start, for example, the highlights because people just want to watch like the highlight stuff of the show, whatever it is. So that's the whole idea. But if I were you, man, my thing would be I would focus on one thing for a side hustle, right? And but you could do the both channels if you want to. I don't really care. But that shouldn't take you more than 2-3 hours a day. But my main focus is on getting a job to make income. You're making $1,200 at 19 years old with your parents is a good amount of money. But at 25, and you got to live on your own, and maybe you want to get married and you want to have kids. That's no money.
Right.
But 23, 24-year-old you could have a job that's paying you $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, and then that's a different conversation. And you also have, for example, a side hustle with your YouTube channel that you actually built up so far that can make you, for example, maybe $5,000, $3,000. And, you know, as far as YouTube, if you're operating YouTube like you operate college, you're doing it incorrectly. Where you just pick something based on what you heard or whatever, you got to dive deep into YouTube also. That means what books do I need to read, right? How do I find out about SEO optimization? Well, I know that. I just got to optimize the title. That's not that simple. So
yeah, definitely.
How do I basically word my words to make it a lot more simple so people can actually digest it? How do I capture the attention so they don't actually leave? It's a whole system, right? So you gotta learn about this stuff, and then you gotta start applying. If you're making one on the Dread Channel video, make 2-3 videos a day. I mean, not a day, but a week. You know, 2 videos a week, and then you focus on getting your skill, and you also have a job. You're not gonna have time to be worried about what your mom is saying and being annoyed or whatever. You got too much time right now. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, brother.
You're
Any
right.
more questions? Or you're good?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, brother. And by the way, look, man, these calls are not a one-time thing. You know that because you've called in 3 times. But what I want you to do is that when you do call, have something to show for it, right? I made this choice. I made this decision. Here is why I made the decision, and here's what I'm going to go. You got to be decisive. And don't be afraid to pivot. That's fine. So if you did all the research possible on your new career, and then you're actually doing it, and you find out, sheesh, I don't want to do this, you know, but you have to have a real reason to why you don't want to do this. It just can't be, I don't really like it, or I don't like this class. Remember, the class and all this stuff doesn't matter. What matters is the end goal. The end goal is you working wherever you're working, helping people. A lot of times what it starts with is in what it ends with. Does that make sense?
Right.
All right. Welcome to the long-term team, man. Call me back when you got some, when you made some choices, man. Okay?
All right, cool. Yep.
All right, brother Malcolm. Have a good day. Peace out.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys. So that right there was Malcolm, you know, and you know, I'm changing my approach a little bit and being, for example, less like, oh, everything's gonna be fine. Oh yeah, okay, everything's. No, I'm being a little bit more serious, you know, because a lot of us, we're a little soft, right? We get a little annoyed at our parents because they're either saying like what you want to do isn't really working, because guess what? It isn't working. You're just working at Amazon and you have 2 channels that don't make you any money, right? So it's kind of like they have their objections based on what they see. But what you see is, you don't see a channel that's not working or an Amazon job that's not working. You see, hey, I use this job for capital while I basically build up my business here. That's what you see, but that's not what they see. Stop focusing on what people think about you. Stop focusing on thinking that, hey, I'm going to change their minds. You're not. You're not going to change their mind. Even Jesus, when he came down, couldn't change everybody's mind, right? It's a whole thing. You know what I mean? So focus on what you got to do. And then stop being so free that you don't have actual time. You know, when you're free, by the way, by free, I mean basically you have too much time on your hand. When you're like that, you're like everything bothers you. You got too much time on your hand. But when you're busy and you got an objective and you got a mission, you don't got time for none of that game stuff, man. You're just like, I'm solid, I'm good, I'm working on my purpose. Every now and then, it's not gonna be perfect, right? You're gonna diverge, you might procrastinate here and there, you might get mad, doesn't really matter. It's just a part of the game, but you know what your mission is, and you know how you're gonna head there. You know, a lot of things are easy these days, you know, but if I told you, well, you're gonna have to pay for that degree out of pocket, you're gonna be very selective, right? If I told you, well, your parents are gonna kick you out tomorrow, you're gonna be very serious about your jobs, right? So that's the whole idea. You know, you gotta give yourself a lot of the times an extra push, an extra like bump, you know, like, okay, I gotta take action, be serious. And you know, I'm tired of hearing people choose their degrees like they choose ice cream. Oh, looks nice. Let me taste it. Okay, good. I'm good. Let me get that one. That's not how you choose a degree, right? It's the job that you're gonna do for a very long time, potentially. So just make sure whatever you're going into, do all the research. You know, I spoke to a friend of mine, one of my best friends actually, his name is, blur his name out. I don't want to mention his name. But I spoke to a friend of mine and he has, for example, he works a job. And he doesn't like it that much, right? And I was like, why do you work that job? He's like, yo, Tommy, this doesn't just pay the bills, but it gives me a bunch of money to get financial freedom a lot faster. And I'm like, are you willing to do that? He's like, yeah, I'm willing to do that. You know, and so a lot of the times it's just not just seeing what you're doing, because you might not enjoy all the aspects of the job, but seeing also what that job is going to do for yourself. You can't always find the perfect thing. And everyone is trying to find the perfect thing while they do all the imperfect things. I'm so picky about this job because it doesn't have everything I need, but you're fine working at McDonald's or Amazon or doing whatever else you don't like, or Walmart, right? So pick something that makes financial sense, but you also like it in some way, and then just chase that. That's the idea. And then use the money not to, for example, stay afloat or whatever. Use that money for financial freedom. That's the overall idea. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for these calls. I really appreciate them. If you want to call me directly and schedule a call, well, the link is down below. Schedule a call today. On top, if you guys are new here, like this video. On top of that, also subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified. And also, if you guys want to DM me right here at Tommy Bryson. If you guys want to watch more content like this, another video, for example, here's another video right here, and click my face right here. And as always, peace.